Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Action Figure Expo, I am David Wildstar from Great Canadian Wrestling. I am proud to present the live action G.I. Joe here, the WWE legend, the Hall of Famer, Sgt Slaughter. Everybody stand up and give him a big Canadian salute. Salute, you maggots!
I'll just move my leg. Well, good morning. I said good morning. Good morning. That's better. First, I'd like to thank GCW for bringing me up to Toronto, one of my favorite cities of all time that I've traveled. I know a few weeks ago we had some fun with the Canadians in Calgary and the wrestling fans, the WWE universe, which was all tongue-in-cheek, as they say. But that was the WWE, and surprised me when I walked in and saw the scripts. Vince McMahon came up to me and said, "Are you ready to have some fun?" I knew what that meant, that I was going back to the bad guy. The heel. So I read a few of the lines in the scripts, and I just kind of chuckled. And at first, I was a little nervous about doing it because I haven't done that for so long. But it was kind of a natural once you get out into the audience and with the fans, and it's all ad lib, and you go for it. But anyway, that was my explanation on that. If you don't like it, we'll meet out back later. By the way, there's a big battle royal after the event today. Just kidding.
Did we get a shot at the world title?
Yeah. Let's see, where do I begin? I guess the best thing is I'm not going to worry about being here from 12 to 2. We'll get up there. I think sometimes these are more fun and more important because you don't have to stand in line and talk to me when everybody else is trying to come on, let's go. So I'm glad you all were able to come down and ask questions, and anything that you had a curiosity on or a thought about to do it here. I'm here, as long as we have to be here upstairs or wherever we're going to do the autographing. But here, this is kind of fun for me and to answer questions and tell you the real truth about everything that's going on in my life in G.I. Joe, Hasbro, WWE, and a couple other things I've got my fingers into. Some things will come about and some won't. But anyway, I don't know how we should start it. Should we just do a question and answer?
I'll take care of this.
Or would you like...
All right, folks, if anybody wants to ask a question, how about we just come on up towards the podium, everybody get in a single line here. Be easier than everybody standing and asking questions that way. And that way we can get it on the camera too, and you'll be like preserved for prosperity. Do it now. One line right here going that way. No fighting, no blooding. Line starts here.
I see a Cobra out there. I see a Sgt Slaughter out there.
We have the very first question here, sir, and the question is,
Were you ever actually in the military?
Yes, I was. I served in the United States Marine Corps for 6 years. Was going to try to go to college. One day I wanted to be a football coach or actually a pro football player, a teacher, or even dabble with the ministry at one time. But my parents didn't afford to send me to college, so I enlisted and thought I'd go to college after I got out, which I never made it to. I ended up getting into the professional wrestling business before I even barely got out of my combat boots. So I actually started training while I was still in the Marine Corps, and that's why I couldn't join the class that I went into watch. I was invited by a sports writer, friend of mine in Minnesota. He was going to do a story on a pro wrestling training camp, and I was home on leave, and I went along and watched them. They had Rick Flair, who was Ric Flair, Cosmo Wasari, who was the Iron Sheik, Ken Patera, Jim Brunzell, Greg Gagne, a guy by the name of Bob Bruggers, and a couple other local Minnesota athletes. And I ended up getting to the ring as a volunteer. They asked for a volunteer. Being a DI and out of the Marine Corps, I knew what that meant. That meant I was in trouble. So they got me in the ring, put me in all these holes, and made me give up and holler Uncle Sam a few times. And finally, I stood back and asked them if I could defend myself, or if they just wanted to take advantage of me. And Vern Gagne was the trainer with Billy Robinson. So the first thing they said was, Rick, you take him. They told me to get on all fours, and Rick Flair, who I wrestled in high school and played football against, and I beat like a merciful dog. Right away complained that he had a bad shoulder. And Vern Gagne didn't want to hear that. He said, no, you get on him. You get on him. So I pinned Rick, and they put Temperature on me. I escaped from him, and then Billy Robinson was asked to take me on and told me to get down on all fours. And I won't use the language that he used on me, but he commenced to drop his knee across the back of my ankle and try to break my ankle or my foot for me, to be some type of a revenge for what I had done. So I came up fighting in the mud, the blood, and the beer, as they say, and they finally broke us apart. And Vern Gagne took me outside the barn. He was in a barn, and said, where'd you learn to fight like that? And I kind of explained to him about my high school years and my Marine Corps. And he said, well, I want you to be a professional wrestler. Do you have any interest? And I said, I don't know, maybe. But I knew that's what I wanted. So a year later, as soon as I get out of the Marine Corps and went into business with my father, I had to wait for Chris Taylor to get out of the Olympics. He was already out, but he wasn't ready yet. So in '73, we started training for where I am today. Chris Taylor, myself, and Paul Pershman, who was Buddy Rose. And three of us made it through about 39 other trainees. And Chris and Paul have passed, but I'm still here and still in the ring, actually, sometimes. Have a match next Saturday up in Boston. So, but anyway, yeah, I was in the Marine Corps. That explains it to you.
Yes, it does.
Yep. Thank you for the question.
All right, next question.